So. What does that? The live stream show, does it even show the PowerPoint or is it
So
just,
it just shows this whole room.
oh, it doesn't show what's on?
Well, you can see the screen.
Oh, I see it, that's
Yeah.
right, okay, because I saw what it was showing without the screen, so now I understand.
Yes,
Yeah, so, yeah.
It's that and it's covers this entire room,
okay,
so you can see that.
okay.
Yeah.
On purpose for putting that up, so I don't have to see me. See me not film.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Good. What would you think of an executive committee? Have you been on it before?
No.
No.
No, yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I'm too much in the know, no.
What?
Too much in the know.
No, yeah. So how's your ending of the semester going?
Pretty good. Luckily, I have the seniors and so. They're all done with their end of semester testing already, so. I get kind of like a flex week to start prepping
Oh, that's
for
Where's your next term starting?
June.
June, yeah, it's during summer. Do you do summer 1 and 2? No,
Yeah.
you're on one of those 11-month contracts.
Yes, yeah, I do summer 1 and summer 2. And.
How does that work? Hello, how are you, Whitney?
Morning.
Uh-huh.
A little more now. Ready
More
for the
now,
semester.
yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know, I just can't imagine being on an 11-month contract, because I feel like it's so intense when we're working, I need those breaks.
Right. So the way ours is in June, we're doing our online classes, and so they run over both terms. July we start at the school, so in July we get these for about a week. But in June.
Hey, I have to find this.
Yeah, so that's where we get, June is our little bit of a break, church to that break, answer question.
So summer 1 is on.
I had this.
Summer 2.
Nobody
It's the continuation of the open mic, then we start our new over.
I got detectives at the end of their project and.
And then you go on that.
No, they're face to face, they're our injuries. They're online at the degree completion.
What did you work? And I'm wondering if.
Okay.
This.
I'll say
Yes, I do most of the.
That's what they said, our myths, you know, for like, so if we're not.
But I am directed choreograph.
Yeah.
Well, you're ready. Oh, fine.
Like, it's like, the next thing is the exhibition of this project, collaboration is the whole aside. It's easier, and in this week's what we. We were.
Because yeah, it was 5 weeks between the semester.
Yes, yeah.
And that takes like.
You can see, yeah.
My other shift by research, have you call that fun?
I'm here. I did one of you read around. It's a game advising on the past, so.
We're actually, but I'm 100% like, it's much complimentary, it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can start. I can start. Yeah, so you look at it, they do our. But we just know that it should really be more expensive. I would think that for. It's very completion they're working. After they. When we're doing our. Basically, so that's what she has.
I'll drive this.
So you're not going to.
Oh, right.
You are, okay.
Oh, no, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, yeah, they're one of that, they're not coming back to fun.
Where was that?
I'll look at some receipts, I think I spent $10 on bumper cars. There's a lot of stuff.
I was on a walk the other day and I've gone through it, I just see when you're. Yeah.
I know you found it.
Still waiting for you, it's not great, it's farm dollars, animals,
Yeah.
but yeah, jump off. Something. They started out,
Oh my God, my neighbors got
That's okay.
this year, and they started that, it was whenever I definitely was.
Yeah.
And what I want to say was, I don't know. Cameras that I would have.
I went back to 11 or 8 minutes.
No. I'll read you what
We actually have to stay I have had it happen for you. They're asking about that. So it's called very friends and so we are on
That's nice of you seeing us, very good, very strong. Oh, I don't say really much. Last night.
Are you from? Don't do it.
That's probably wrong. Slightly closer spacing, but
Where's the?
Yeah.
Well. I mean, I think for yourself, let's say business that. Oh, it's not that. Stop it. I don't put your one that was circulating. That probably had the error. But I would fix it with the one that's circulating.
Thank you.
Are you doing this?
Did, do we have? I think some piece.
No, they.
Well, like that actually has it done voting now, that will be your first vote. Okay, sure. Okay, so I'll call the meeting to order. Thank you all for coming. This is the last meeting of the year and hopefully it will be a fairly short meeting. I know Purpose and Beer doesn't that start at 4 o'clock?
Yes.
So 40 minutes.
Yes.
That's our aim. So calling the meeting to order, we're not gonna worry too much about our quorum, since there's not.
I think
gonna
we
be
have-
voting and it's kind of hard to figure out. My precisely like who's on the Senate now versus next year's Senate and where that quorum. Lands and something might need to be worked out, more clearly over the summer. So can I have approval of the agenda? Move to approve the agenda. Michael, second. So I guess we are voting a little bit on the agenda. So all those approve? All those approve? Aye. Sarah, anybody? Fine, okay, approval of the minutes, how about the motion to approve the minutes?
Anybody?
Second. Any seconds? Second. Thank you. Any discussion about the minutes?
I made a correction already that was not circulated of misspelling of me.
Any discussion? On the minutes? Okay, so a vote to approve the minutes, by aye. Aye. Anybody? Vote to not approve the minutes. Okay, so minutes are approved. Okay, so the appointments for the executive committee meeting or executive committee is presiding officer next year is Mary Draper. Associate presiding officer is Hillary Cohen. Sarah Cobbs, secretary. Jessica Fino is the treasurer. And parliamentarian station Miller. And the president has now officially made those appointments, so we had our recommendations to the president and she has sent me a letter appointing the individuals. She was so surprised that the people she had thought she would appoint were exactly the ones that we had before. So, I won't read the whole letter to you, but I just want to say at the end, she says, let me reiterate how much I have appreciated the collaboration with the Senate as we have made significant progress on our campus. So this is the letter that also indicates her appointments for presiding officer, associate presiding officer, and secretary. And also indicates she appreciates the Senate has also designated a parliamentarian and treasurer. Remember that those are not part of our official executive committee, but we continue to have the support of the president to have a 5-person executive committee. So, thank you all. And I just wanted to make sure I have the list right. Last time I left a few people off on the newly elected senators. So maybe those of you just check your colleges out. And if you're new, make sure you're listed on there.
Oh, if you have any corrections, you can indicate them on the sign-in sheet. And if anybody is not listed that is present and needs to be included, I'll correct the list. The sign-in sheet is going around on a yellow thing. I think that we might need this in minutes.
So welcome to the newly elected senators. I also want to recognize the continuing senators. And so these will be the continuing senators through 2027. I did send an email around asking those that were rolling off if you wanted to continue on the Senate as a as a president's appointee. So Sandy Schreiber, is Sandy here? No, she's here. She's gonna stay on the Senate for another year. I'm gonna stay on the Senate for another year. And Kimberly, as she's out of town, she's gonna stay on the Senate for another year. So the way that works is that the president is to appoint one person from each college to the Senate. So the reason that we decided to go ahead and allow for people that were on the Senate to stay on another year is if we get people to stay on a little bit, it would be rolling off everybody every 2 years. That's the only way you can have people on the Senate for a little bit longer period of time. So these are 1-year appointments. When the president does appoint, she can appoint up to 6 consecutive 1-year appointments, and then a person would have to roll off for 2 years before they could come back on the Senate. Then the president picks, she has to have one from every college, so people that were designated to roll off, so then Shari, is she here? Okay, so you're presidential president's appointee, and so is Anne Marie Weimer. I don't know if she's here. So when you look, we do have a website, and when you look at the website for Faculty Senate, those are indicated. So I just wanted to make sure everybody's aware that that's how it's recorded on our website. And then I want to thank you for all of your service for those rolling off. So these are the senators that have been part of the Senate for the last 2 years at least, and are going to be rolling off. Okay, so item number 2 on the agenda is there's gonna be some plan for some work to align the Faculty Senate bylaws with the Constitution. So the Constitution and the bylaws were revised last summer with Senate Bill 37 to make us in compliant with that Senate bill. But there were still, at least more so on the bylaws than the Constitution, a couple of places where there's some inconsistencies. So I think Executive Committee, both the incoming and the outgoing Executive Committee could work together to try to figure out where there's disagreement or alignment between the two, so that we can address those. To change either one of those, it takes a vote of 2/3 of the Faculty Senate, so it's not that it will necessarily get changed over the summer, but at least have a revision plan to be voted on early next year. Plus, it takes the president's approval. But like one place, for example, that's just needs to be corrected is Senate Bill 37 says that I am supposed to send out, or not me, but the presiding officer next year, Merrick, will send out the agenda to all of the members of Faculty Senate 1 week before the meeting. So 7 days before the meeting. And it's at the same time, it's supposed to be posted on the MSU website. I think we've done a fairly good job of getting that, I've been getting that. Thank you to Emma for getting that posted when I sent it to her on Thursday. The very last minute to get it posted so that we meet the deadline. But sometimes I fail to send it out to the full faculty senate until maybe Friday or even as late as the following Monday. I'm sure that happened a few times. Well, the bylaws say it should go out by Monday of the week of the meeting, but the Constitution says it should go out by Thursday, and Thursday is consistent with Senate Bill 37, so that's when it needs to go out. So like that's one place that we need to have some change. And another place I feel like we need some change is maybe when we notify deans to do elections for new senators, because everything got kind of moved up a little bit in practice in terms of getting new senators into the April meeting so that we could do the voting for our recommendations for executive committee, which actually did parallel closely with the bylaws anyway. But it didn't give the deans very much time because the presiding officer was supposed to notify the deans of who's rolling off and how many seats need to be filled by I think the 1st of March or the last day of February, one or the other. But with spring break in there and sometimes Easter break, I think we should probably move it up at least a week. So we can think about that, so we can make sure that the deans have appropriate time to get those elections underway and completed. So things of that nature, is just the plan to look at that. So any discussion about that? That's a plan for this summer. So either in one or the other, the Constitution or the bylaws, it says that we should be selecting the meeting dates for next year at this meeting. So Stacia put these together, looked up when our spring break was and Easter break, make sure we weren't in conflict with those dates. And so these are the proposed dates. That's another thing I think we might want to consider putting in the bylaws, maybe not, I bet, is the bylaws kind of make it sound like you could just pick any day, you know, just make your agenda in May. You can't really do that because faculty just needs to be somewhat consistent for teaching responsibilities so that, you know, the meetings don't suddenly change to a Wednesday. Or change the time of the meeting to 1 o'clock instead of 3:30 or something of that nature. We tend to need to know this ahead of time. So I can send this out to everyone, but you put it. And I don't know if once it's finalized, another thing I could have done a better job on maybe is sending out an invite like right away so you can put it in your Outlook. So I'm gonna try to get it once it's finalized. How do we finalize it? Last year, say that again.
We can't vote on it today.
But we never really voted on it last time either. It was true. The executive committee, I did it over the summer and asked the executive committee, and that's what we did.
I don't
So
think it's indicated in our bylaws that we need to vote on meeting dates. I think we just set them.
so if there's an issue, you have time to contact me and Mary if there's an issue with these dates so that we can know that before setting those to be our dates.
Can we, sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I mean, I personally really like that option of December 3rd and May 6th. Rather than the
Well, I guess we
final,
should have some
yes,
discussion here.
instead of the final examination week. I think the week before is helpful. Instead of final exam.
Yeah, so it's,
That's what we are doing right now
Right.
also, right?
Because normally we meet second Thursday, but that would be
It
final
doesn't make
exam week,
sense.
so that is those final months of the semester.
I would agree until Woody final exam because.
avoiding violent family because of that.
Yeah.
And last year, we got to have our first annual, so maybe it won't be annual, I don't know, could be a first annual holiday party in December. And we didn't actually have a meeting in December. Sometimes a meeting does get canceled if there is no need to have a meeting. So we don't always have that December meeting. Last year, we didn't have a December. Or this past December, we didn't have a meeting, but we did have a holiday party. Paid for from the provost office, so she generously paid for the snacks and the what fancy
The
hot,
fancy
hot chocolate.
It was very good.
It was over at the military.
So is the meeting an hour or hour and a half? Do we go 3:30 to 4:30 or 3:30 to 5?
Good question.
Well, sometimes we did go. We definitely went long a lot this year, I think because we had so many speakers. We had a lot of guest speakers. And to kind of, so if we don't have as many guest speakers, it might not go, so I didn't. I don't know, does it have to be set to be for sure concluded by 4:30?
I haven't seen anything in the bylaws about time.
And,
No, but
well, a lot of folks would leave at 4:30 if they had to leave at 4:30. So, I mean, that is just, I think the standard or the expectation is that you're able to be here for the hour and we'll try to take care of any business that requires a vote in that first hour. I think
It's
that
I know, because I had that confusion today about when, how long is on. Today's different, but still, the start time is 3:30 and then it's an hour.
No, it's an hour, that's the target. If for some reason, if we have speakers and all, then it becomes a few minutes more. The target is 1 hour, I believe.
The target.
The target.
It's just a moving target.
That's the. Let's not move it too much.
Okay, so it's noted that the first, not, to not have a meeting during finals week is preferred, but, nobody wants to speak against that, okay, so.
And keeping our meetings closer to an hour. Rather than over is preferred.
I'm okay, I just need to block out the time.
Yeah.
But then, the last two, items are, so the faculty senate purpose and role, and I thought we could maybe share on, let me back up for a moment, so make sure everybody realizes that we are being live streamed, so that's new, that for those that haven't been a part of the Senate last year, it is being live streamed in and around, helps us with that. She's got the live stream going, there is a link on our website. On the Faculty Senate website, anybody can join the live stream. It's not being recorded, at least on our end, we're not recording it. That is all part of Senate Bill 37 requirements. Faculty Senate purpose, so we just want to remember that we are here as elected or appointed. You're appointed by the president, but elected or appointed to represent the faculty, all of the faculty at MSU. And let's see, we have a faculty senate purpose. So the purpose of the faculty senate is to represent the entire faculty of the university and to advise the university administration and the Texas Tech University System administration regarding matters related to the general welfare of the university. So this is operating policy 6.02. We do have policies, so so one of the things I just wanted to see if some of the different colleges could tell us, what do you do or what you wish you did to help keep your constituents informed of what's going on within faculty senate. So I know some colleges do this very well, I think.
yeah, so our faculty said, we have monthly faculty meetings in College of Ed. And so our faculty senators always report out in that monthly meeting. And then we have had former senators who would email. After the meeting, they would just do like a summary email to the college. To the faculty, so that they kind of knew what happened, and if they had any comments or anything like that, so. Those have been the practices since I've been at college.
Thank you. Good. Anybody? Any other colleges have a good way of?
Well, in Dillard, Adam does a fantastic job. He always shares all the minutes and everything, whatever you send to the faculty senate, he forwards to the entire college, and after the meeting, he summarizes everything and then sends it to the entire faculty. So he's the one who does all of that.
We usually get the minutes pretty quickly, so that's. I mean, we have been this year, so that's been very nice. Something that,
Oh, we'll do a fantastic job with that.
yes.
What did she say?
The-
Oh, that was Jessica.
She's looking at.
Oh, I said we could probably do a better job at it, but we primarily communicate through email because I feel like we have so many moving parts and pieces, it's difficult to get us. All together.
PY
our guidance at
Yeah.
this since I got here. It has been bad for years.
But we've got a big opportunity next year.
One of the things that, sorry,
Go ahead.
I can't see with things, I'm kind of cute. One of the things we used to do in the Cosby was meet regularly with the dean. So we had like all the senators and the dean meet together, just kind of keep that communication between the faculty representation and the admin running. So I've talked to our dean and he's open to doing that next year, but I don't know how much more.
You said a monthly meeting? A monthly,
I said regular.
regular.
Then. Is there anybody else that has anything that wants to share on item 4? And then the last item is just a little bit of time just to brainstorm. And maybe if there's anything from this year that we want next year's Senate to know, or just anything that we had maybe hoped we would have addressed more this year that we would like to share with next year's Senate, or just anything that's come up, just to have maybe a list of a few things. That doesn't mean that next year's Senate has to prioritize the list that we talk about today. But if we could. No, Jill's not here, right? Yeah,
I
okay.
think the priority, what you asked me earlier, on whether we are going to have the role option in the TSA retirement plan, I think you'll be good for the next faculty center to follow up with the human resource to see whether we are going to have that. I mean, either way, a definite
A
answer.
yes or a no, Harvey, yeah, so having a. The TSA option to have a Roth IRA, right?
Right now, we only have a regular contribution option within the TSA account. We are asking to have a role option in that account. And Texas Tech had that long time ago, but the university for 2 years have been telling us they are working on it, so just to follow up to see where we are.
Okay. Yes.
So I'm a new senator, so I don't know if this has been talked about or discussed. I would really like to know if faculty senate has worked or has thought about thinking about AI policy or AI support for faculty across campuses and colleges. Is there something guidelines from the universities? So every course is different, every college is different, they can adapt it, but do we have some sort of a guideline to provide for faculties in relation to the ever-changing AI generated work that is out there? So I don't know if you guys have already have something in place or working on it, or what it is. But
No, we just
it's
had
something
conversation
about-
around AI, we did at the last, well, not the last, but the one before that. So we've had two meetings with the president and provost since our last meeting. And so the first of those meetings was the day after our April meeting. And we had talked about AI and the academic dishonesty policy. So that is planned to be revisited as far as the academic dishonesty policy. And with input from faculty senate is my understanding, right? So maybe a subcommittee from faculty senate working with some other groups across campus and to just revisit the whole academic dishonesty policy, especially since that was all made before AI was ever so widely used. And so whether or not we had talked about whether it needed to be kind of a separate policy for handling AI, or is that handled through academic dishonesty? But in that conversation, you're talking about also policies for faculty.
Yes, policies for faculty
Which-
should be maybe even used to in their syllabi in different versions of it, how they have. We have that intramural teaching grant that has come out with AI integration into the assignments and the courses, and faculty being using at different levels of it. So what guidance do we have from that for that to be? That is something to think about.
Yes.
That's a project that will be led by the provost's office and Dr.
Does, yeah. Dr. Duff.
with it. They plan to make some progress on
So they plan to make progress on that.
and to include us.
A follow up on the academic dishonesty, because I was reading some of the minutes, so I know you all talked about it. When you were talking about policy, are they also talking about revisiting the procedures too?
Yes.
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 That was actually our initial concern.
Okay.
And it would be really helpful to like, I don't know, looking forward to have some of those folks that provide that support to students if there are issues and things like that, to really have a clear policy on who you can go, right? We have dignity, we have the student offices, we have those, but who do we approach? Like, who's the go-to person, right? Like, is that, do faculty even know about it? Are they clear on those aspects of it? Like, what's the, because there was a document that came out that clearly led to what is the procedure for if you see AI generated work and how to approach it and what all you need. I think that it needs to be, again, tested.
There was a policy.
Not policy, it was a document.
Guidance.
It was a guidance document that if you see an AI generated work, who do you contact first, who do you contact next, and who do you report next?
I think, even more broadly than that, the question of how information is disseminated to faculty and kept records, like, we don't have a faculty handbook, and that should probably be fixed.
I would
So
like
maybe
to
that's
follow up.
having a faculty handbook could be a priority.
I would like to follow up on what Dr. D said about ORP, there's a little bit of confusion, I would say, with the changes. I have personally my financial advisor is telling me to keep my retirement money with the older company, I would say. And some people, I heard some people said, hey, you need to change, you need to shift your money. So I'm a little bit confused, I would say, so. We need some clarification with respect to that.
Dawn. Yes.
I'm not, I'm Dr. Lynette Watts, I'm practicing for Kelsey Will.
Okay.
But to address that, would it be prudent for Dawn Fisher to come to the first faculty senate meeting, maybe to talk about that? Because I've heard, and from what I've seen from her office, I don't think we have a choice, we are gonna have to shift I
You
think,
can leave it in the old one, but all your new contributions are gonna go to the one you choose, the one of the four
okay,
that you choose.
see, that's not.
So maybe that's not, has been unclear to,
Yeah. But I just,
to the faculty.
and again, I'm just making this suggestion.
So we
Not
could-
saying- No, I think,
Everybody needs to know.
but I think it needs to be clear because see, there's two different.
And then that information also needs to be designated faculty.
Yeah,
Which
absolutely.
goes back to the question, how is faculty senate's information going back? That we were just talking about.
And I want to add one thing, I really, you know, when I was hired, I was not well informed about the difference between the Texas retirement system and the ORP system. And some people really regret to choose the ORP, I would say, they prefer to stay but I was scared because the financial advisor came and told me, hey, you know, if you opt for the Texas retirement system, you know, if you don't get your tenure, you're going to lose all your money. You see. So, I mean, we need to be really informed with respect to that, specifically for the new hired faculty.
I think they get one day, and you have to think about one day. If you don't decide the right decision, one day you're gonna be in trouble for all your life.
Or you'll be in Texas until you retire.
Yeah.
I wonder if this is something people wanted to do over the summer, if it'd be possible to ask Dawn to have like a Zoom session that people could go attend.
Oh, yeah.
And then instead of pushing it all the way until September.
I think you have to pick one, pick whichever.
Pick one by-
Yes, and there is a deadline, and you have to pay for the next 2 years, so August.
To have a
28th
Zoom
to
session for all faculty.
Yeah, like multiple sessions over the summer and
Yeah.
you can attend when you can attend it.
Yes.
And you could ask if HR would invite new hires that haven't officially started, that they could also know that this is happening, that they can come to.
Yeah.
Oh, and just.
So we'll, reach out to Dawn Fisher. You and I are gonna talk in June, so.
And I'm gonna piggyback on that AI thing, yes, I do know the library is creating professional development videos or seminars, students and faculty related to AI. So that will also be another way for us to have the guidance. If those are the things that I'm talking about, so that is important views.
So the library is?
Yes, the library.
The library is doing that to create professional, I don't know whether they're going to do workshops or they're gonna create videos. I think they may do a combination of both, but it is directed towards AI use and use in the classrooms and in the courses and everything else for both faculty and students.
Yeah, it's the instructional librarians and Courtney are doing that.
Okay.
Not just the librarians, it's the instructional librarians.
I don't know how you can say.
And
No, I just said that.
I think it's Joseph and.
I know, I
think it's-
Like him and.
I think it's mostly
Joseph, so is that to give us Scott?
I don't know, I just feel as if the guidance needs to align in all respects, right? Like it shouldn't be the guidance that comes out of it, if faculty does not align with what they are doing and doesn't align. So there has to be a cohesive kind of a situation. Because
in the fall, when I was hired, the HR team, they had put together a policy that new faculty could adopt. So I'm thinking it was something in line with what was said, being put out in the library discussions, because if my memory serves me correctly, it was HR and the library.
well, that's another place that we didn't know,
Yeah.
they came out from policy.
Was it like the tiered system and like AI prohibited, AI
Yeah.
critical? AI?
Yes.
Okay.
So it was like a tiered system, from a specific university, can't remember the exact name right now. I'd have to check it out, but it was something that they told us as new hires we could use if we weren't quite sure of what policy to put on our sites. Maybe if that could be incorporated, to this, not just new hires, but maybe also all faculty.
I think that that probably is the same document that we were all sent last year. It just was not necessarily provided with additional like context or like resources.
Oh, okay.
That would align with it, like Dr. Cortez. Yeah. But I agree.
But
like,
there's so many different pieces going on everywhere. Like, I do see faculty, colleagues and all. What are we doing? And there's so many cool things. to do.
Well, I mean, but the fact is, there's no policy and there's no guidance on it,
Yeah,
really. I mean,
that's
it's,
true. There
yeah,
is no
right
policy,
now.
there's no guidance.
And but they have plans to get things, so.
And that goes back to letters.
Right, it does.
So I guess, so here's another maybe agenda item, is last week, or not last week, last month, we attended, several of us attended the SGA meeting. And I really felt more connected. I feel like as a faculty, we'll be more connected with our students and understand their stresses. If we are included more, or maybe, I'm sure they would include us, we just. I think we talked about maybe getting a representative, we have an SGA rep on faculty senate, we could see about having a rep on SGA. But I do think they meet like twice a month at 7 o'clock, which might be difficult for any one faculty member to attend all of those meetings, but even if we attended, a couple of a month or once a month, and maybe split it out.
It's not easy for the students to attend all those either. I know that the organizations I'm involved with, it's hard to make sure you get a senator to go to meetings.
Do we even have a rep that attends like staff senate meetings and?
No, we didn't.
Like
You
just-
did. It was Susan Harvey.
Yeah, but that hasn't been for a while.
It's been like 2 years, I think, and there hasn't been.
Something like, we definitely need to be connected to, the people that we're working with. We definitely need their input and where they have.
That could also be an agenda item for the summer to of course, Ashley's not gonna be. Chair of staff, and although leader staff. We'll know next week. Okay.
Are staff senate meetings open to the public?
Yes.
Yes, you meet over the summer.
Yes,
What did you say, Sam?
they're open to
Are they
public,
open?
and we meet
Oh,
over the summer too.
Did you say something about
How
hours?
started.
Sarah, did you say something?
4:07.
Quick
Just saying.
suggestion for the SGA rep thing, so, I mean, of course, it was difficult for faculty to attend so many. But let's say if we have one rep from faculty, to whom the SGA, whoever the head is, whenever they are done with a meeting, they just summarize it and share it over email with that senator, faculty senator, and then the faculty senator can just share with us later on, so then even though we are not there in person, but there would be at least some kind of communication going on.
That's good. I mean, I think that's good. I think they really appreciated having someone listen to them that was there.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when it was a
Yeah,
hot item for them and like.
It was really nice when I was last morning, I attended one of the SGA meetings, and it was very eye-opening. Knowing that student was renting out their dorm room as an Airbnb, that was very interesting and wondered how was.
Yeah, Rory is the new SGA president, so. So then again.
Yep.
Rory, her name's Rory.
Rory Redford.
And she's actually she's on one of my officers for Alpha Psi Omega, so I will have constant contact with her.
She's also an officer in OCA. She's a little busy. And she comes to my office at least twice a month for a sit down.
Our meetings are also meant to be open to the public.
I just thought it was interesting to hear from the student side. Yeah, and how they're being graded and how it's affecting them. And I can see the other side, I can see how what we're experiencing on our side is affecting them as well.
The TLRC that had the student panel was phenomenal. Whoever went to that was phenomenal just to look at them using AI for like small little things. I think maybe you were the one who brought up the question is using it for discussion boards itself, like a small piece. The students were like less value it is, less motivated we are, and that's why we just use AI. Like it was very interesting to hear this.
And it does have its positive, and but, it's just about teaching them how to use it in the positive way, in an ethical way, having those courses and how to use them from the beginning and at the end, how to use it ethically, and then making sure that the faculty know how to properly evaluate student use of that information, but having those policies in place that can help guide both parties. And that's the problem, the eyes of both of us now. We don't have policies to help.
Students actually said that there wasn't any course or any sort of preparation for them to prepare them to use it ethically and positive.
I was
Just across different governments.
Well, and they learned it in high school too.
Yeah, we have the course, that English department to provide a writing and AI course, but that is a 4,000 level course, so maybe integrate some AI literacy into the lower level.
And even the lower level.
That's good, I don't know, whatever, once we have a policy and got, like in the. What's the course that they take when they first come? It's the first year Mustangs. I think it is.
Well, first year Mustangs or college connections,
One of those two.
one of those two.
That's where they first walk through the door and then in the upper level as well. Because then when they walk through the door, so they get that first introduction and then back in the upper level as well. Where they do a lot of heavy writing and stuff. Because those are gonna be the two areas you're gonna see.
College Connections is gonna use it a lot this fall. College Connections is being rewritten and it's going to use AI a lot this fall. For them to be able to put in their own personal learning style and ask for, like if I know I'm an ENFJ in my Myers-Briggs and I'm a visual kinesthetic learner and I'm a naturalist in my multiple intelligence, I'll put all of that information about me into AI and ask it to make me a study guide for this section of the book or whatever. And it's crazy what it pops out and it works. So.
It does, and the biggest thing, I'll give you an example, for instance, like I was doing critical care clinical rounds. And one of the things we do with our students is if they don't get a learning, if they don't show us that they're learning to do critical thinking or clinical reasoning, we'll give them Socratic questions about their patient. And I can tell because I know my students' dialect and I know some of them how they write. And I'll give them those questions and there's those that'll give me back ChatGPT because I know how ChatGPT write or how they speak and how they write. And I'll tell them, thank you for the response, but I know this is ChatGPT because this is not how you write. And they don't realize that there's a certain way that sometimes you can interpret if it's a student writing from their own writing, from previous writing or from the way ChatGPT writes. So we need those policies because sometimes you just can't do that with every single person and you've got to be careful. So we need, what I mean? And then another way you can do it is looking to see if the reference is really a true reference as well. Because sometimes ChatGPT don't make up a reference. And there, some of them are not smart enough. You think they'll be smart enough to make sure that reference doesn't exist.
Or they'll put a page number that's like 685 and the book stops on 400.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, so, is there anything else?
I want to bring another issue. I would say that is affecting, the retention of the students. We don't have, guidelines in hiring new faculty. I would say, and just to give you an example, when in the process of hiring new faculty, you bring it on campus. And that faculty most of the time brings, a presentation, PhD, presentation or something like this. And do a fancy presentation and everybody is impressed and that person is hired. But we didn't verify the teaching skills of that person. We didn't test them, I would say, and then the department, that person is hired for a tenure track position. The department is in trouble, I would say, for at least 5 years. And that person doesn't really teach very well. We have had a case where, a faculty doesn't know his material. And he just reads from the book, I would say, and the students do not understand anything.
I think it would be to kind of, I'm gonna take a slightly different direction on that, I think, but that. I think there does need to be more conversation about good practices in faculty hiring. Because I have definitely learned more about that from my connections to other universities that I have at MSU. And so I've found that I'm bringing a lot of things to hiring committees that other people inside MSU aren't hearing, and that's like, to some of my ideas are bad, it turns out. But it's still like, it would be really good to have like a broader discussion about what does the best practices in academic hiring look like.
I mean, I can give another extreme example. I would say we have had faculty who hire, students TAs to teach the course, and he leaves the course during the course, I would say. And he leaves the university, and he left the students, teaching his course. I mean, do we have to deal with TAs and or not?
Well, it is faculty.
It's a fact, yeah.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
When it has faculty sessions.
I think
Maybe
outside to that, it's like,
expectation.
what
Yeah.
kind of
Make
professional
clear
development
expectations.
training do we have for, you know what I mean? For our faculty as well, you have to look at those things too, what kind of professional growth and development opportunities do we have internally for faculty as well, What kind of, we've got quite a bit happening, over the last year, maybe year and a half.
Yeah.
Couple of years, because we just had, I think it's the last semester, we were just talking about cutting out some of the trainings that we were sending some of our faculty to, some of the programs we were gonna send some of our faculty to, we were cutting out some of those.
Just
conferences and trainings we were sending our faculty to.
Just COPLAC, but it's being replaced with other things that are more inclusive and will be available to more people.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think that's gonna.
Because
ramp up
COPLAC was
part.
very expensive and we could only afford to send us very small number of people.
So we gotta look at those things, are we doing any internal training? Are we promoting any activities that allow us to go to conferences and share and, with other groups and not just, finding ourselves our own subculture, learning, new things, bringing it back and, promoting growth among ourselves, we have to look at those things because it's not, you know what I mean?
Isn't that what the LRC is about?
Yeah.
Isn't that what the
And
LRC
it's my understanding that that is gonna become more of a priority for the AP for academic innovation, and so
Yeah.
that is now that we've been doing all this other stuff with Navigate and everything, it's gonna shift to more faculty development.
And the Gardner Institute.
Yeah, and all the Gardner
aims
Institute,
to
yeah. So I think it's
pour
being addressed.
resources into
for-
that and provide structure.
Yeah.
So, I'm just saying, that's just some of the things we have to look at, how are we promoting faculty growth and development, and we look at how we're hiring, and what are they bringing, and what are we doing internally as an institution and an organization to grow ourselves, grow our faculty, and then also promoting faculty teaching and growth and development as well. Because we also have to promote that faculty growth and development as a team force.
So for the next academic year, TLRs, just like this academic year, we had the theme of AI at like in TLRC events. We are right now in the process of brainstorming to have the theme of mentoring the next academic year. And we are right now like discussing that, like our proposals and whatever we have with the proposed. So that could be the theme where the mentors who are assigned to their mentees, how that connection can be made stronger. So that exactly what they are saying, that new hires can get a more like, clear help and guideline to move themselves forward. So that is there in the process of happening.
And then I'd also make sure that you don't get someone that you hire and you're expecting them to meet a certain performance, and then you get them and they don't make that performance, and then you see, if they get that tenure position, it's too late to say, okay, we're stuck with them for 5 years. Because that's what happened, we don't go back and reevaluate and see if that person.
There should be some kind of accountability.
That's part of the department chair's job.
Yes.
There's a system.
So Charlie,
Yes.
will that mentorship program be open to or inclusive of lecturers and instructors?
You're saying it's just the theme of TLRC.
Oh, I mean, I thought you were saying as an initiative.
The theme of the.
No,
I misunderstood, sorry, thank you.
Sorry, I don't understand the question.
That
Theme for the
you
TLRC.
misunderstand, because I misunderstood.
Yes, Dr. Strong.
There is something else I think is very important for us, for all the, the university as well. We should have a strategy about how to attract the high school student, from around Wichita, like 60 miles, because, those counselors, they tell the student, something is different than what we have, For example, those 3% student or 10% student, they mentioned to them, like, you wanna go to very good medical school, you don't need to go to the MSU Bremen, you have to go to the Rice University or whatever, And I hear that, from my kids, that's what they told me. My daughter, she is #1 ranking in junior right now in Memorial High School. And then, that's really, this is really very important, we have to bring those counselors and we have to talk with them. And I don't know, it's something that's not right.
That's like retention, right? What are we doing for retention?
Yeah, I know that the president talked about. Just in our last meeting, right, about trying to get more recruiting, more students that are in this area.
Admissions has been working.
So I guess I'm just saying that there's so many conflict with counseling. You have to get buy-in from the people who counsel
Yeah.
the students, and so that may be some area or some future work. To give those counselors the stats of students who have come to MSU and gone to medical school. So it's not getting out our good positive stories.
And also mention, we're concerned about the resources that we have or can give other faculty, all the more so for graduate assistants that are teaching. I mean, if your department is not specifically and actively engaging in meetings with them and teaching them how to teach, because you're good at research or good at your subject does not mean that you're a good teacher. I think we all know examples of that as well. And to address your issue, the last hiring committee that we were on, we made them do a research talk, and they also had to teach a lesson. And it was wildly different, and it made all the difference in the world. Somebody, they interviewed really well, they did very well. They came in, they taught a lesson, it was like, no, that's absolutely not gonna work. So we have been doing both.
So I think we've got a lot of great discussion going on. We certainly have some things to work on next year, and next year's faculty senate will have to kind of prioritize and what we're going to address for a second. So if I could call that conversation kind of to a close, and thank you very much for it. I think it was very helpful. I do have one announcement I forgot to mention, that the Interfolio. So the university has
has a contract now with Interfolio. That's what people will use for tenure and promotion. So all the people that have received letters about going up for tenure and promotion have either been trained or have been invited to be trained. I'm not sure if they've got all the training done for Interfolio. And then another group that will be trained in probably through the summer is like the deans and the chairs. And then also the committee members for the different TNP committees at the college and the university level. And then ultimately, all faculty will get trained on Interfolio as well, but that's the order that they're gonna work through the training on. Okay.
And then it's,
Yeah, are there any other announcements or?
you don't have to go through the list. If anybody has a report, please advance.
Yeah, we weren't gonna, so,
You
yeah.
don't have to go through the list, but if
Yeah, does anybody have a report that wants to report out on a committee? So then, we have a motion to adjourn.
Motions.
I second.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Well, let me check.
Here, yeah, everybody go to the computer.
You're asking.
No, right. No, thanks.
Good to meet you.
Not like.